Thank you for choosing wisdom of the Dharma. If you found this video insightful, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, so you never miss a new update. Your support helps us keep sharing powerful, life-changing wisdom with the world. And don't forget to drop a comment below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Let's grow and learn together. The secret you've been calling yourself all your life. Have you ever noticed how your name feels different when someone speaks it with sincerity? Not just a sound, not just a label, but something that vibrates deep in your chest, like an ancient echo finally finding its way home. Your name isn't just what others use to get your attention. It's what the universe has used to whisper your purpose. Long before you had a job, a role, or even a sense of self, you had a name. Or more precisely, the sound of one. In Buddhist thought, sound is not symbolic, it's sacred. The universe doesn't speak in words. It speaks in vibration. From the spinning of galaxies to the quiet hum of breath during meditation, everything is movement, everything is rhythm. And so, your name, especially the first letter of it, is more than phonetic. It's a seed sound. A spiritual imprint. A karmic doorway. Today, I invite you to look at your name not as something given, but as something chosen, by your own soul. What if I told you that your name, particularly its first syllable, may reveal your deepest strengths, your spiritual challenges, and even the karmic lessons you're meant to embody? I know that may sound mystical, or even too poetic for some. But the deeper I've gone in my own practice, the more I've come to understand this truth. A name is not random. A name is resonance. You see, in my years as a monk and spiritual guide, I've sat with people from every walk of life, executives, artists, mothers, war veterans, monks. And in those quiet, unguarded moments, when they speak their full name softly, almost like a prayer, something shifts. A silence opens. Because when you speak your name with awareness, it stops being a habit. It becomes a mirror, one that reflects not who you pretend to be, but who you've always been beneath the noise. And the letter that begins your name? That's the bell that begins the chant of your story in this lifetime. So today, we begin not just a video, but a journey. Through the spiritual meanings behind each letter of the alphabet. Through the karmic stories hidden in names. Through real-life reflections that may just change the way you see yourself. And it all starts with what you've been calling yourself every day of your life. Let's begin. Part 1, Sound and the Soul, Why Vibration Shapes Destiny. Close your eyes for a moment and just listen. Not to the world outside, but to the subtle hum beneath all things. The breath. The heartbeat. The soft, invisible rhythm that connects everything. This is not poetic, it is the nature of reality. Everything that exists vibrates. In Buddhism, we call this the Dharma of sound, the understanding that sound is not just a byproduct of life, but a blueprint of it. Sound doesn't just reflect the world, it shapes it. Think of a Tibetan singing bowl. With a gentle strike, it sings a tone that seems to stretch beyond space and time. That sound, that resonance, changes the atmosphere of a room. It changes the person hearing it. Even science agrees, sound can alter brain waves, shift heart rates, and synchronize patterns in the body. But what if I told you that the same principle applies to your name? Every time someone says your name, even when you say it silently to yourself, you are activating a vibrational pattern. That sound has followed you since the beginning. It's been encoded into your relationships, your self-perception, and even your spiritual growth. And especially important is the first letter, the entry point, the seed syllable. In ancient Buddhist traditions, monks were given Dharma names, not for ceremony, but for alignment. The chosen syllables reflected a vibration that resonated with their karmic path. Mantras like Om, Ah, Hung are not just chants, they are frequency signatures designed to awaken parts of the soul. Your name works the same way. You may not have received it from a master on a mountain, but on some level, you attracted it. That sound, that opening syllable, that very first letter, holds a hidden frequency that speaks to your unique spiritual coding. A person whose name begins with A often carries a vibration of initiative and fire. A B name might resonate with nurturing and compassion. An S may carry stillness, mystery, and inward wisdom. These aren't superstitions. They are patterns, seen again and again in spiritual psychology, in karmic observation, and in countless lives. Because sound is not neutral. It either brings you closer to your true self, or pulls you away. In Tibetan Vajrayana practice, practitioners meditate not just on abstract concepts, but on seed syllables called Biya mantras. These are sounds believed to mirror the very vibration of different aspects of consciousness. Ah for clarity. Ma for nurturing. Sa for wisdom. Ra for transformation. So now, consider this. What if the first sound of your name is your personal mantra, waiting to be understood? What if every time you hear it, it's not just identification, but a reminder? Not of who you think you are, but of who you're here to become. When I first began to study this deeply, I started noticing patterns in the people who came to me. A woman named Karen, strong-willed, decisive, always stepping into leadership, carried the fire of the letter K. A man named Elijah, gentle, mystical, constantly questioning, was wrapped in the spiritual frequency of E. These patterns weren't absolute. But they weren't random either. They were like fingerprints, not of personality, but of spiritual potential. And once I helped people see that, something in them softened. They no longer saw their name as a label. They saw it as a gift. A whispered message from the universe, carried through syllables and tones, designed to guide their path. So I ask you again, what does your name feel like? Not what it means in a dictionary, but what it does to your heart when it's spoken gently. With presence. Like a bell ringing in an empty temple. This is the foundation for everything we're going to explore next. Because behind each letter is a teaching. Behind each sound, a karmic code. And when we begin to truly listen to our name, not with the ears, but with awareness, we start to hear the spiritual signature we've been carrying all along. Are you ready to hear yours? Let's go deeper. Part 2, Name is Karma, Why You Didn't Just Get Lucky. Most people assume their name was simply chosen. Maybe their parents liked how it sounded. Maybe it honored a beloved ancestor. Maybe it just felt right in the hospital room the day they were born. But the Buddhist view invites a different possibility. What if you didn't just receive your name? What if your karma attracted it? In the cycle of rebirth, karma is not punishment or reward. It is resonance. It is the magnetic pull between where your soul is and what it still needs to learn. And so, when you entered this life, through your family, your culture, your body, you also attracted the conditions that matched your energetic blueprint. That includes your name. This means that even if your name was picked at random from a baby book, it wasn't random. It matched your vibration. It fit your karmic curriculum. Let's pause here and consider a familiar example. Steve Jobs. A name now synonymous with innovation, clarity, precision. But look at the first letter, S. A letter often associated with stillness, solitude, and subtle insight. Jobs was known not just for invention, but for his spiritual depth. He traveled to India, studied Zen Buddhism, and often operated from a space of inner silence that made him both visionary and mysterious. The energy of S in his name echoed the tension between innovation and inner retreat. Now think of someone like Oprah Winfrey. Her name begins with O, a letter rarely discussed, but vibrationally circular, encompassing, embracing. Her life path has been all about inclusion, healing, and unity. She is a global nurturer, holding space for others to share, cry, and transform. Her name was not just chosen. It was karmically aligned. Here's what's important to understand. The universe doesn't label you randomly. It gives you a sound that matches the work your soul came here to do. So if your name begins with A, for instance, that sound may reflect a karmic invitation toward leadership. But not just worldly leadership, spiritual authority rooted in humility, not pride. If you were born with the first letter M, you may carry lifetimes of caregiving, martyrdom, and the lesson of learning to give without self-erasure. And if your first letter is T, your path may involve devotion, discipline, and the challenge of learning not to lose yourself in service. None of this means you're trapped by your name. That would contradict the Buddhist truth of impermanence. You are not fixed. Your karma is not fixed. Your story is always unfolding. But when we bring awareness to the name we've been given, we begin to see the deeper story. The karmic code. Let me share a story with you. A few years ago, a young man came to one of my retreats. His name was Victor. He was bright, ambitious, and deeply frustrated. He told me, I always feel like I'm fighting. Fighting for attention. Fighting to be heard. Fighting with myself. I asked him to reflect on the sound of his name. Victor, I said slowly. Victory. Conquest. Power. Control. Does that word feel light to you, or heavy? He smiled sadly. Heavy. We meditated on his name that day, not trying to reject it, but to understand it. We explored the karma of V, transformation, intensity, rebirth. The kind of soul who has gone through great difficulty in past lives, and who now returns to turn pain into purpose. By the end of the retreat, Victor wasn't ready to change his name. But he was ready to change his relationship with it. He said, I've been trying to live up to my name as if it were a trophy. Maybe it's not a trophy. Maybe it's a reminder that I'm still healing. That one shift, from label to lesson, transformed him. And that's what I hope this video can do for you. To help you see your name not as a static identity, but as a spiritual companion, a guide, a mirror, a mantra whispered into your life by the subtle hand of karma. Think about your parents again. Even if they chose your name without deep reflection. Why did that name rise in their mind? Why did it feel right in that moment? Could it be that your soul whispered it to them? Could it be that you were already shaping your destiny through the vibration you needed most? In Buddhism, the notion of dependent origination teaches that everything arises from conditions. Nothing stands alone. Nothing is truly random. Not your birth. Not your family. Not even your name. So the next time you hear your name, especially the first sound of it, listen with different ears. Ask yourself, what does this name call me toward? What is the energy hidden inside this vibration? What part of me is still unfolding through it? Because whether it begins with A or Z, your name is not an accident. It's an assignment. And now, with awareness, you're ready to decode it. Let's begin to explore the letters, one by one. Part 3, Letter by Letter, the Spiritual Blueprint AM. Your name is not just a sound, it's a map. And the first letter is the gatekeeper. The seed syllable. The tone that sets the vibration for your karmic journey in this life. Now, let us walk through the alphabet, not as a set of cold definitions, but as a living spiritual mirror. We begin with the first half, A through M. Let these letters speak to you. If yours appears here, pause. Reflect. Feel its rhythm inside your chest. Not as identity, but as an invitation. A. The flame of leadership. Core vibration, bold, initiating, full of drive. Souls are often here to lead, to begin things, to take action, to break ground where others hesitate. But the shadow of A is pride. Many with A names wrestle with ego, the need to control, or the exhaustion that comes from always having to lead. Spiritual lesson, to lead with humility. To become not the commander, but the torchbearer. Mantra, I lead not to dominate, but to light the way. B. The heart of compassion. Core vibration, soft, nurturing, deeply empathetic. Those with B names often carry ancient karmas of caregiving, healing, and emotional labor. Their energy soothes others, but the risk is forgetting themselves. Spiritual lesson, love without losing your center. Reflection, are you giving from overflow, or depletion? C. The curious seeker. Core vibration, expressive, creative, mentally agile. C is the sound of curiosity, of minds that question everything and love to connect ideas. But scattered focus and fear of silence can be karmic echoes. Spiritual lesson, move from intellect to wisdom. Practice stillness, not just stimulation. Mantra, I do not fear silence, it is where truth lives. D. The grounded builder. Core vibration, steady, reliable, structure-loving. D is the frequency of those who build homes, businesses, communities. Their presence offers stability to others. But they may resist change or cling to what once worked. Spiritual lesson, build with impermanence in mind. Teaching, let your bricks become steps, not walls. E. The expressive soul. Core vibration, vibrant, communicative, emotionally bright. E names carry the vibration of open-hearted sharing. They uplift others naturally. They speak light into darkness. But they may hide pain behind performance. Joy becomes a mask, not a path. Spiritual lesson, anchor your joy in truth. Practice, speak one truth today that you usually hide behind a smile. F. The harmonizer. Core vibration, peaceful, artistic, emotionally intuitive. Those with F often seek balance. They're sensitive to group energy and naturally act as mediators or artists. But their shadow is people-pleasing and emotional repression. Spiritual lesson, seek peace, but not at the cost of truth. Mantra, my harmony includes my honesty. G. The deep observer. Core vibration, quiet, thoughtful, internally rich. G names are often introspective, drawn to study, philosophy, and the inner life. But they can overthink, isolate, or become emotionally numb. Spiritual lesson, balance the head and the heart. Reflection, do I feel deeply, or just analyze deeply? H. The strategic sage. Core vibration, intelligent, precise, disciplined. H vibrates with the energy of those who think ahead, build plans, and aim for excellence. Their karmic shadow is perfectionism and emotional detachment. Spiritual lesson, let the heart guide the mind, not just the other way around. Mantra, clarity is my strength. Compassion is my home. I. The silent seeker. Core vibration, subtle, introverted, spiritually tuned. I is the sound of inner space. Those with this name often carry past life energy of renunciation or solitude. They are drawn to meditation, mysticism, but may feel lonely or unseen. Spiritual lesson, solitude is sacred, but connection is necessary. Teaching, I carry the light quietly, but I do not hide it. J, the joyful uplifter. Core vibration, bright, generous, inspiring. J names often shine with charisma. They uplift others with humor, lightness, and vitality. But when disconnected, they escape discomfort through distraction. Spiritual lesson, let your joy include your shadows. Reflection, does my joy come from truth or escape? K, the focused warrior. Core vibration, determined, sharp, purposeful. K vibrates with intensity and ambition. These souls often move toward clear goals with great willpower. But they risk becoming overly rigid or impatient. Spiritual lesson, allow strength to soften into surrender. Mantra, I move forward, not by force, but by flow. L, the romantic idealist. Core vibration, loving, imaginative, heart-led. L names are dreamers. They love beauty, connection, meaning. They carry a softness that touches others deeply. But that same softness can lead to disillusionment or emotional dependency. Spiritual lesson, love as a practice, not as a possession. Teaching, my heart is open, and so are my expectations. M, the soulful giver. Core vibration, responsible, nurturing, quietly strong. M vibrates with care, dependability, and a strong sense of duty. These are often the glue in relationships or families. Their shadow is overgiving, burnout, or self-forgetting. Spiritual lesson, give from wholeness, not sacrifice. Reflection, when I care for myself, I deepen my care for others. Each letter, as you've seen, is not a label, it's a teaching. And behind each sound, a story. Remember, this is not about being boxed into traits. This is about recognizing patterns, subtle karmic tones that your soul is ready to work with, heal, and evolve beyond. As we continue from N to Z, keep listening. Not just with your ears, but with the part of you that remembers. You chose this vibration for a reason. Let's continue the journey. Part 4, Letter by Letter, the Spiritual Blueprint N to Z. If the first half of the alphabet reveals the foundation of your karmic blueprint, then this second half, N through Z, often points to your hidden powers, your deeper struggles, and the way you bring your spiritual work into the world. These are the letters of integration, transformation, and expression. Let us continue, gently, mindfully, and see what your name might be whispering to your soul. N, the quiet anchor. Core vibration, stable, composed, resilient. N names often carry the energy of balance. These individuals tend to stay grounded in the storm. They are reliable, calm, and inwardly reflective. But the challenge of N is emotional suppression, burying too much, speaking too little. Spiritual lesson, inner calm is powerful, but so is honest vulnerability. Mantra, my steadiness includes my softness. O, the universal embracer. Core vibration, expansive, inclusive, deeply feeling. O vibrates like a circle, holding, containing, connecting. People with O names often act as emotional centers in groups. They draw others in with warmth and care. Their shadow is overabsorption, losing themselves in others' emotions. Spiritual lesson, include yourself in the love you give. Reflection, where do I overhold what I should release? P, the mindful architect. Core vibration, precise, thoughtful, internally driven. P types are planners. They're organized, reflective, and often spiritually aware, but cautious. Their minds are sharp, and their hearts careful. The shadow, overthinking, self-doubt, and fear of spontaneity. Spiritual lesson: true control is trusting what you cannot control. Practice: let go of one plan today, and trust the unfolding. Q. The sacred questioner. Core vibration: inquisitive, mystical, truth-seeking. Q names are rare, and so are the souls who carry them. These individuals often challenge dogma, break inherited beliefs, and seek inner truth at all costs. But they can become overly skeptical, disconnected from trust and softness. Spiritual lesson: ask deeply, but don't forget to feel. Mantra: may my questions be gates, not walls. R. The transforming force. Core vibration: driven, intense, purpose-oriented. R vibrates with power, momentum, and movement. Our names often belong to those born to change things, to speak up, act boldly, create impact. The challenge? Letting go. Our may cling to control, struggle with surrender, or burn out trying to fix life. Spiritual lesson: lead with flow, not force. Reflection: do I push from fear or move from faith? S. The silent mystic. Core vibration: intuitive, wise, inwardly deep. S names are soft but strong. They often carry karmic traces of monastic life, deep contemplation, or intuitive gifts. But their gift of stillness can tip into isolation. They may withhold their wisdom, afraid it won't be understood. Spiritual lesson: let silence support you, not isolate you. Mantra: my stillness is not absence, it is clarity. T. The devoted servant. Core vibration: disciplined, reliable, heart-led. T vibrates with duty. These souls often serve something greater than themselves, whether family, mission, or spiritual path. Their challenge? Self-forgetting. T may lose its own joy in endless obligation. Spiritual lesson: discipline must be balanced with self-compassion. Teaching: I serve better when I remember I am sacred too. U. The integrator of opposites. Core vibration: harmonizer, mystical, paradox embracing. U carries rare energy, often belonging to those who live between worlds. They may be deeply spiritual and yet practical, loving solitude but drawn to people. The shadow: identity confusion. A sense of not belonging fully anywhere. Spiritual lesson: you are here to show that truth is both/and, not either/or. Reflection: can I hold two truths in one heart? V. The vessel of alchemy. Core vibration: intense, resilient, emotionally transformative. V vibrates like a forge, burning, breaking, and rebuilding. These souls often carry heavy karmas and deep gifts. They are here not just to survive, but to transmute. Their risk? Becoming rigid, obsessive, or stuck in old wounds. Spiritual lesson: let the fire purify, not consume. Mantra: I rise through what I've endured. W. The wandering wisdom seeker. Core vibration: expansive, exploring, spiritually open. W souls are travelers, of ideas, landscapes, consciousness. They resist being boxed in and often live multi-layered lives. Their shadow is restlessness. The constant seeking may disconnect them from stillness. Spiritual lesson: wander wide, but remember to return home, to yourself. Practice: anchor your day with one breath, one pause, one moment of stillness. X. The catalyst. Core vibration: rare, radical, karmically charged. X is not a soft letter, it arrives with disruption. Those with X are often here to challenge systems, awaken others, and shatter illusions. But the path is lonely. X may feel misunderstood, too intense, or out of place. Spiritual lesson: you are not here to fit, you are here to free. Mantra: my disruption is a doorway. Why? The spiritual yearner. Core vibration: idealistic, poetic, devotion-driven. Why vibrates with longing, for truth, for love, for the divine. These souls feel deeply, dream vividly, and often wrestle with melancholy. Their karma lies in how they seek. Do they move forward, or escape inward? Spiritual lesson: longing is sacred, but it must lead to presence. Reflection: is my yearning awakening me, or avoiding me? Z, the Zen rebel. Core vibration: unconventional, fearless, awakening. Z is the edgewalker. Those with Z often challenge norms, not to break, but to rebuild. They carry karmas of revolution, and the call to create new ways of being. Their danger? Rebel without root. Rejecting structure without offering harmony. Spiritual lesson: change requires clarity, not just fire. Mantra: I burn not to destroy, but to illuminate. And so we arrive at the end of the alphabet, but not the end of the journey. You may have found your letter here. Or you may be thinking of someone else's, a partner, child, teacher, or friend. Remember, these aren't rigid identities. They are reflections. Sound-based sutras. Guides to help you hear the spiritual pattern behind the label. Your name isn't who you are. But it is how the universe called you into this world. Listen closely. And the next time you hear your name, you might just hear the path your soul came to walk. Part 5. Your full name as a mandala. First, middle, and surname energies. Up until now, we've focused on the first letter of your name, your gateway vibration, the seed sound that sets your karmic tone in this lifetime. But just as no single petal defines the entire lotus, no single letter defines the entirety of your spiritual map. Your full name, first, middle, and last, forms a sacred mandala, a spiritual diagram of your karmic lineage, your inner world, and your life purpose. Let's explore how each part contributes to this living design. 1. First name, the personality path. This is the name you hear the most. The one you introduce yourself with. The one most people call you by. It represents your current karmic identity, the role you've taken on in this lifetime. It shapes how you show up in the world, how others see you, and how you move through experience. Think of it as your front-facing karma. If your name begins with A, you may be here to learn leadership. If it starts with S, perhaps your work is in mastering inner stillness. This name often matches your Dharma path, your soul's mission in this particular incarnation. It also reflects your ego's growth edge, where you will be challenged to evolve beyond habit and expectation. Your first name is the sun of your spiritual mandala. Bright, visible, and constantly in motion. 2. Middle name, the hidden karma. Your middle name, if you have one, is the most overlooked, and yet, often the most spiritually potent. Why? Because it holds your shadow karma, the lessons that operate beneath the surface. This can include karmic energy from past lives, ancestral echoes, or unfulfilled vows carried forward through lifetimes. Middle names are often chosen for sentimental reasons. A grandparent's name. A name that sounded nice. But spiritually, these choices aren't random. They often mirror something your soul is still working through, quietly. If your middle name begins with L, you may carry karmic patterns of idealistic love or emotional sensitivity. A middle name starting with T may point to lifetimes of service, duty, or spiritual devotion. This part of your name acts like the moon, reflective, subtle, and sometimes hidden from view. But it shapes your emotional tides and deeper habits. To ignore your middle name is to ignore a part of your soul's whisper. 3. Surname, the lineage karma. Finally, we come to the last name. The one you were likely born into. The one that ties you to family, ancestry, and collective memory. This name represents your inherited karma, not just your personal journey, but the intergenerational story you've stepped into. In Buddhist terms, this is the collective karma you carry from your lineage. The patterns you may be asked to heal. The pain you may be born to break, or continue unconsciously. A surname beginning with V may carry energy of survival and transformation. Perhaps you descend from warriors or trauma survivors. A last name starting with B may connect you to lineages of caregivers, healers, or those who carried emotional burdens silently. This is the earth of your mandala, the soil from which your roots grow, and the foundation you're called to nourish or refine. Together, they form the whole. Think of your name as a three-part symphony. The first name is the melody, your visible path, the role you play now. The middle name is the harmony, your inner world, the lessons still unfolding. The surname is the rhythm, the beat of ancestry, lineage, and legacy. When all three are seen together, a pattern emerges. Let's look at an example. Imagine a woman named Rachel Elise Vega. Rachel, R, ambitious, forceful, passionate. She carries the karma of the transformer, here to shift and lead. Elise, E, expressive, tender, intuitive. Her shadow is emotional sensitivity, possibly from past life heartbreak. Vega, V, the vessel of transformation. A surname vibrating with intense karmic healing, perhaps from a lineage marked by hardship or resilience. Put together, her name tells a story. A soul who came to transform, not just herself, but her family line. To express her truth without being consumed by it. To lead with heart, not just will. And that is the power of the full name. Your name is a practice, not a label. You don't need to change your name to change your life. But when you begin to understand the vibrations you carry, you awaken to your deeper purpose. Just like a monk receives a Dharma name to reflect their path, you already carry one, your own. Speak your name slowly. First, middle, last. Feel what it evokes. Not as identity, but as invitation. Your name is your mandala. A living symbol. A sacred sound your soul chose to walk this earth with. Let it guide you home. Part 6. Rituals of Name Activation and Alignment. Knowing the spiritual meaning behind your name is powerful. But knowledge alone isn't transformation. It's awareness put into practice that creates real inner change. In many Buddhist lineages, receiving a Dharma name is a sacred turning point, not because of the sound itself, but because of the intention placed behind it. The same is true with your own name. You don't need to abandon your given name. You only need to engage with it consciously. Below are simple but profound rituals that can help you align your name's vibration with your spiritual path. 1. Name reflection meditation, 5 minutes a day. Each morning, sit in silence. Place your hands over your heart. Speak your full name, first, middle, and last, aloud, slowly. After each repetition, pause and ask, what does this sound awaken in me? Notice any emotions, images, or sensations that arise. Journal your impressions, without judgment. Over time, you'll begin to notice patterns, areas of strength, pain, memory, and power. 2. Vibrational mantra practice. Every letter of your name corresponds to a sound frequency. You can amplify or balance its energy through chanting. Here are a few examples. A, Ah, for clarity and leadership. M, Ma, for grounding and nurturing. S, Sa, for inner wisdom and stillness. R, Ra, for transformation and courage. Practice by breathing in deeply, silently repeating the seed sound of your letter. Then exhaling and letting go of its shadow. Repeat this cycle 3 to 5 times. 3. Create a name mandala. Draw your full name on paper, each letter placed within a circle or spiral. Around each letter, write a virtue it carries, a challenge it brings, a phrase or mantra that helps integrate it. Place the mandala on your altar, desk, or meditation space as a reminder of your soul's path. 4. Conscious name usage. You may wish to gently modify how you use your name. This doesn't mean legal changes, just mindful adjustments. Add a spiritual name or syllable in practice, if it reflects your growth. Use your full name during rituals or reflection to connect with your complete energy. Soften or shorten your name if it feels too heavy, or strengthen it if it feels too soft. This is not about changing who you are. It's about naming yourself with awareness. Because the more consciously you say your name, the more clearly the universe echoes it back. In the next part of this journey, we'll explore how names interact, how your vibration affects your relationships, and what your loved ones' names may be teaching you, too. Let's continue. Part 7. Real stories that changed everything. The name that was too heavy to carry. His name was Brandon. When he first introduced himself at the retreat, he said it with a tight smile, like someone giving a rehearsed answer at a job interview. But when I asked him to say it again, this time slowly, softly, with awareness, he paused. Brandon. The sound seemed to fall flat in the quiet meditation hall. He looked down. I've never liked my name, he said. It feels too big. Like it demands something from me that I can't live up to. Brandon had spent most of his life trying to be strong. The eldest son in a struggling family. The steady one. The fixer. The silent one. He had never cried in front of anyone, not even at his mother's funeral. But in that moment, as we sat in silence with just the sound of his name echoing between us, something cracked. We explored the energy of the letter B, its vibration of nurturing, empathy, emotional intelligence. The karmic pattern of giving and giving, without always knowing how to receive. And suddenly, his life made sense to him. He wasn't broken. He wasn't weak for feeling tired. He was simply a soul carrying a karmic vibration of caregiving, and the exhaustion that comes from doing it unconsciously. I always thought I had to be strong for everyone else, he whispered. But maybe strength isn't about holding it all together. Maybe it's about being held. For the first time in decades, Brandon allowed himself to be seen, not as a protector, not as a provider, but as a person in need of gentleness. In our final session, he did something simple, but powerful. He placed his hand over his chest and spoke his name again. This time, there was no tension. No smile to cover pain. Just presence. Brandon, he said, like a prayer. And for the first time, he felt the name was blessing him, not burdening him. We carry names like coats, some too heavy, some too tight, some never fully ours. But when we listen, when we really listen, we may find that even the hardest names hold soft truths inside them. Your name can be your story, or your liberation. Which one will you choose? Final reflections. You are not your name, but it can set you free. We often think of names as destinations, fixed labels that define who we are and who we're supposed to be. But in the light of Dharma, we begin to see the deeper truth. You are not your name. And yet, your name may be the path that leads you back to who you truly are. Your name is not an accident. It is a sound your soul chose to carry through this lifetime. A vibration you've heard spoken aloud, whispered in thought, written across paper, and imprinted on your karma. In Buddhist teachings, we are reminded of anatta, the truth of non-self. That we are not fixed identities, not roles, not labels. And yet, even in this emptiness, there is form. There is path. There is flavor. There is sound. Your name is part of that form. A tool, not a trap. A mirror, not a master. What you've been called since birth may have shaped your habits, your relationships, your spiritual tendencies. But with awareness, it no longer defines you, it guides you. When we truly listen to the sound of our name, especially the first syllable, we begin to awaken to the silent teachings it has always carried. Why we're drawn to certain people and repelled by others. Why certain lessons repeat, no matter how hard we try to escape. Why deep inside, we've always felt a pull, a direction, towards something more. Your name is not a static word, it is a living mantra. And when you speak it with awareness, when you meditate on its vibration, when you reflect on its karmic meaning, something shifts. You begin to hear not just a label, but a bell. A bell that rings to remind you. You are walking a sacred path. Even if you forget it sometimes. Even if you've been called the wrong things for too long. And in that sound, you return, not to ego, but to essence. So let this journey be a beginning, not an ending. Continue to say your name with gentleness. Continue to explore the names of those around you, with compassion. Continue to reflect on the karmic energy your soul chose to carry through this sound. Because every time you speak your name with awareness, you are not reinforcing your identity. You are realigning your Dharma. Before we end, I invite you to take one small step. Comment below with the first letter of your name, and share what it now means to you. What has your name been teaching you all along? And if this journey moves something in your heart, please consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and sharing it with someone whose name has always made you curious. Until next time, dear soul, may your words reflect your wisdom. May your name echo your truth. And may every sound you speak lead you home. Be well. Be peaceful. Live your name wisely.